Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live section. So guys, we're going to talk about what David Umahi said. He said that we should not make Kanu's release, as a condition that Tinubu did not put him there. This is what an Igbo man is saying, David Umahi. Guys, isn't it appalling that Eastern governors or Eastern or senators that are able people should be fighting for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and not doing otherwise? Is it not it? But unfortunately, Dave Umahi is not actually supporting Biafran movement, but he's actually he's actually supporting Tinubu's government that has not brought anything to the table. He has not favored anybody, nobody. Everyone is crying. Barely 6 months of Tinubu's administration, everybody was crying. Dave Umahi is saying that the East or Easterners should support Tinubu coming 2027. Guys, how are we going to support a somebody that or a government that has not done anything for us when it comes to minimum wage? Foul. You go to Yeah, you have not said anything. You remove fuel subsidy and people are hungry, dying, insecurity has become the worst, and you're still saying that Easterners should support you. How? So guys, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. Also drop a comment for us. Let's know what you're saying about this headline. So let's go on. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back to join me in this live section. Drop a comment below. Also, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you're saying. So now, we're talking about what Dave Umahi said and how Igbos reacted to it. Nigerians reacted to it, saying that what kind of man is this? You're trying to say that we should support for Tinubu after all the pain, hardship, and everything that he has brought to us. People now even prefer Buhari's tenure to Tinubu. I'm telling you, because the hunger, insecurity, everything is worst. Everything is worst. So now, Dave Umahi, Senator Dave Umahi, in a sorry guys, Dave Umahi, in during a press briefing in Lagos, declared that the federal government is open to negotiating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, but he quickly added that Kanu's release should not be as a political bargaining chips by the Southeast. Imagine. So according to him, he said, we are willing to negotiate his release, but no one should make it a condition because the president did not put him there. Guys, imagine Dave Umahi saying that we are ready to, or federal government is ready to negotiate. What are they negotiating? What are they negotiating? When it is clear in Nigeria's own constitution that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent, that you guys, Nigerian government, violated their own law by adopting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, if Nigerian government claim that they did not adopt Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, why is it that ever since Kenya came out to say that they adopted, or Nigerian government adopted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, why is it have not come to address that or say I didn't do that or I did it? They have just kept silent. No one has come out to debunk it if they didn't do it. No one has come out to say it. That's to tell you that they know what they are doing. They don't have anything against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They know that they illegally adopted it. They violated their own constitution. They violated Kenya's constitution. They also violated international, laws. And they went to adopt Kanu. And then he's saying, negotiate. Negotiate what? What are you negotiating? Obey the law. What are you negotiating? Obey the law. Do what they say. Do what is in your constitution. Don't come and say we are negotiating. Nigerian government has pride. Pride. Even when they are wrong. Do the needful and release this man. Dave Umahi claims that Tinubu did not put him there. Oh, Tinubu did not put him there, but his government actually inherited the illegal detention of a man, and then they chose to keep it or to continue it. Why don't you, if you actually want Igbos to have behavior, why don't you want to why didn't you release him, knowing fully well that have Tinubu ever talked about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case? A man is illegally detained for how many years? You still kept him even in your tenure. You have not even said, let you look at this man's case. And is it that they don't know that they violated their own law? Is it that they don't know? They know. They don't want him to be released because they know that they cannot stand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Believe me, Nigerian government cannot stand Biafran government. I'm not joking with you guys. They can't. That is why they are putting all these efforts to make sure that he stays in prison for so many years. That is it. Do you know, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was innocent, or if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was really a terrorist, do you know that Nigerian government would have done the right thing they're supposed to do by writing to Kenya government? They would not have gone to secretly adopt him. Hope you guys know. If he was the terrorist they claimed he is, they will not go to secretly to adopt him. They would have written to Kenya government. They would have done things normally. That is when they will not start saying constitution, there's law. That's when they will obey the law. But when they know that this one is innocent, they are going against their own law, even international law. AU has spoken, Amnesty Nigeria has spoken, but still Nigerian government is ignoring. Since 2022 October, appeal court acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Said they should release him, but what happened? Nigerian government kept him. And Dave Umahi is saying that Tinubu did not keep him there. Hey, Tinubu did not keep him there, but in Tinubu's government, they have already said, Kenya government has already said this one is innocent, and you're still keeping him, and you're saying that Tinubu did not keep him there. So Dave Umahi, during a press briefing in Lagos, declared that federal government is open to negotiating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. But he quickly added that Kanu's release should be used as a political bargaining chip by the Southeast. Now, according to him, he said, we are willing to negotiating his release, but no one should make it a condition because the president did not put him there. Now, let us pause and ask ourselves. This statement is not just this is not just a statement. It's a strategy, and it exposes the deeper power dynamic at play between the federal government and the Southeast region. For now, Dave Umahi is claiming that Tinubu did not put him there. Umahi claims Tinubu didn't put Kanu in detention, but the truth is that Tinubu's administration inherited an illegal detention and has chosen to continue it. Let's be clear. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was adopted in Kenya in June 2021 in violation of international law. 2, the United Nations, the African Union, and Kenya High Court and other several Nigerian courts has called for his immediate and unconditional release. Now, the Nigerian government has blatantly ignored these rulings. So why is Umahi talking about negotiation? Why? Why don't you do what is in your constitution? You violated your own law. See, Nigerian government will not delay. They will be fast in jailing someone. They will be fast in obeying the constitution to put someone in jail. But when it comes to obeying that same constitution to release someone that is innocent, you will delay in it. But if it's to put someone in jail, they will do that fast. Take a look at what this lawyer said. This lawyer said many things about Kanu's illegal adoption or detention. Take a look.
On behalf of Pan-African Forum Limited and Associates, to place before the African Union Commission a formal submission on the failure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to deposit the Article 34, subsection 6 declaration, having signed and ratified to the protocols and the treaty of the setting up of the African Court on Human and People's Rights in Arusha. It is a moment for me, as a person who has struggled all along,
please share the life for
that as we see Nigeria abduct people,
you're welcome,
and as we see the country of Nigeria fall to pieces, we watch abduction, terrorists picking up girls, banditry, hostage, kidnap. We have kept quiet. We have listened, we have watched. With a population of 250 million people, Africa has watched. Africa has neglected to take this step, yet this was a protocol that was endorsed by the African Union itself, by Organization of African Unity itself, and other member states. It is sad, therefore, that today, as we see people who have been killed, maimed, kidnapped, civil strife inside Nigeria, a state falling to pieces, the center cannot hold. The leadership of Buhari did its part to fracture the center of this nation, a great nation in Africa, with the potential to help the three African people, has failed to give an example as a big power, a superpower on the continent of Africa. I have submitted this application before the chairperson of and the AU Chair Commission for them to invoke the articles and take action to the same in order to realize the formation of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, to avoid our people being shipped, to avoid our continent looking at the International Criminal Court as the only alternative. Yet we have mechanisms to stop Africans being exported across to the Netherlands, to give Netherlands more money, to give them more employment, because there are people working in those courts, and yet we want more and more youth on this continent to work on the continent, more lawyers, more professionals, experts, to have our own court that can sentence people, that can look at our bit differences. We have neglected Article 34C, Section 6. Therefore, I've taken the first step to take Nigeria to court. I want to invoke procedurally this journey. This submission, therefore, is made in the interest of advancing foundational principles of the African Union, namely the promotion of human rights across irrespective and the respect of rule of law, access to justice to all African people on their own continent. My Pan-Africanism is different from those who talk, shout, academics who make noise, make statements that I'm not in that theater. I am in a practical theater to use the tools of engagement, the tools of a strategic management of this continent. It concerns the continued failure of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a huge state with 250 million people. Every day you open up your TV, you see the people's cry. Abduction, killings, shootings, slaughter, defilement, terrorists. Therefore, Article 34, subsection 6 of the Protocol, the African Charter of the Establishment of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, called AFCHPR, this has been defied, despite the fact that Nigeria ratified the treaty. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pan-African Forum and Associates, Limited and Associates, in line with this mission to uphold justice, democracy, dignity for the African peoples, both in Nigeria from north to east, west to south, the suffering masses of this great nation have taken this respectfully, called on the African Union Commission to treat this matter as urgent and to take appropriate institutional action in line with AU legal norms and values, to ask Nigeria as to why people are being killed.
Yes.
People are being killed in Nigeria, slaughtered, abducted, while we are watching. People are disappearing. Terrorists are forming up groups. Terror cells have sprung up. Fulani herders are taking over this country with 20 million cows, cattle, roaming the whole country. From North Sahara Desert to South Atlantic Ocean. They want to take over this country. One dominant feature among us, this is the killings, the slaughter, the defilement, the rape, the earth-scorched policy that Nigeria is facing. That Nigeria and the Nigerian citizens are undergoing in Benue State, 200 people slaughtered, maimed in cold blood. We are keeping quiet. Not me. Therefore, the legal framework and obligation of the African Court Protocol 1998 was adopted by the OAU and continue under AU established and it established a judicial organ that will try crimes of this nature. And the Human Charter on Human and People's Rights, Article 5, subsection 3 is very clear. The protocol enables individuals like me, and NGOs and other agencies to directly approach the court.
Okay.
If that country has submitted the instruments under Article 34(6). Why, therefore, I'm asking the Federal Republic of Nigeria that ratified the protocol has refused for 20 years, over 20 years, not to deposit this crucial declaration. I want anyone who has got the knowledge to answer me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this for humanity. And let me go in history. Nigeria is not my country. But Nigeria is an African country that would have made us proud if we put it back in order. The weakening of constitutional continental justice system has begun with Nigeria. Nigeria continued to fail as a state, a superpower with 250 million people. Please. Has failed to place these documents before the court. Remember, we have 11 judges. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my comrade, my dear friend, brother from Mali, Sako, for having taken over as the presiding president. And hopefully, with you at the helm, we are going to change Africa through this court, that no African should be shipped to International Criminal Court, of which America does not subscribe to, but America harasses, arrests, abates to arrest the people and take them there. C. Violation of AU normative commitments. Nigeria's refusal contradicts the African Union commitment to the Charter of Democracy, Dignity, Election Governance, the Constitutive Act of AU, and Agenda 2063, aspiration for a just rights respecting Africa. Therefore, it has violated. 4. Political and moral responsibility. As Africa's most populous country and a key contributor to continental peace and governance frameworks, Nigeria bears a unique responsibility. It cannot advocate for African solutions for African problems, yet while rejecting African legal accountability for African mechanisms. Mark that point. 5. Our recommendations are the following. That the Pan-African Forum respectfully urges the African Union Commission President, the chairperson, Ambassador, His Honorable Mahmoud Yusuf Ali, to immediately, and I repeat, immediately, because now we are going to ask the legal department to interpret, to tell me why 11 judges.
So, guys, you heard what that lawyer said. Everything that lawyer said made sense. Imagine, everybody is not talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. Everyone is talking about his release, but Nigerian government has refused. Even, Tinubu claims he was not the one that put him there. Maybe that would be the reason why he's silent. But the administration actually inherited a man who was illegally detained, and you have chosen to keep him, or to close your eyes, or to be deaf to hear what people are saying. Even international voices, AU, Amnesty Nigeria, you have refused to hear what they are saying to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And Umahi is coming to come and be talking nonsense, saying that, or he has come to say that East should vote for Tinubu coming 2027. Imagine, how are we going to vote for that kind of person? Your government has failed us. When it comes to insecurity, it has failed. When it comes to economy, it has failed. There is nothing good. Imagine FG ready to negotiate. What are they negotiating? What the hell are they negotiating? When already it's clear that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released. So what are they negotiating? When Umahi says Kanu's release shouldn't be a political condition, he's trying to politicize a deeply political imprisonment. But then ask yourself, why was Kanu arrested in the first place? Why does the DSS refuse to obey court order? Why is his continued detention being used to control and suppress the Igbo population? The government is saying we can release him, but do not ask for it in exchange for political support. Meaning that support us, they are trying to say support us blindly and maybe we'll give you crumbs. This is what they are saying. This is a manipulative governance. This is a psychological warfare, and it is disrespectful to collective suffering of the Southeast people. Umahi claims the Southeast is fully behind Tinubu and will support his re-election in 2027. But here is the problem. Tinubu has not addressed the illegal detention of Kanu. The Southeast remains economically strangled with insecurity, bad roads, and lack of federal presence. The people are under constant military harassment. Yet Umahi says Tinubu has done more for the region than past presidents. How? Where? Is it the abandoned English Onitsha Expressway or the ongoing sit-at-home crisis that the government refused to address through dialogue? Umahi said that they won't, the final result is that we won't return to Egypt. That is what Umahi is saying. Umahi ends with a dramatic flourish. We will not return to Egypt. What is the Egypt he's talking? What is the Egypt he's talking about? What's the Egypt? Is it the Egypt where Igbos are treated as second-class citizens? Is it the Egypt where their leader is held in solitary confinement without trial? Or is it the Egypt where silence and betrayal are rewarded with contracts and political appointments? The real Egypt is the Nigeria they are trying to silence Biafrans into accepting. Umahi's statement is not only tone deaf, but it is morally bankrupt. Now, let's be clear. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu doesn't need negotiation. He needs justice. His continued detention is an insult to every legal system in Africa. His release is not a favor, it is a human right. And no senator, and no, Senator Umahi will not trade justice for political loyalty. Senator Umahi, who will not trade justice for political loyalty. Do well to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video as we break down in details on what Senator Umahi said about IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, they said negotiation. People are saying negotiation for what? The court has already been settled in, they have already settled Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in court since 2022 when appeal court released him or acquitted him. Multiple Nigerian courts, including the Court of Appeal, has ruled for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. The Kenya High Court also ruled his adoption was illegal and a violation of international law. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention condemned his reduction and demanded for his release. So why is Umahi now talking about negotiation? This is not about negotiation, it's about obeying the law. It's about obeying the law. Government is playing politics with a man's life by framing Kanu's release as a political favor rather than a constitutional obligation. The FG is weaponizing his imprisonment. Life has been lost, families torn apart, and Southeast remains marginalized. All while Umahi plays PR game for Tinubu. That's just it. Umahi's statement is a political PR move to appease the North by saying Tinubu didn't arrest Kanu and it shouldn't be a condition for support. Umahi is trying to balance two sides. keep northern political forces happy, who views Kanu as a threat, and appears sympathetic and appears sympathetic to his own people without challenging the system. This is a calculated betrayal masked as diplomacy. They said divine grace. He said, according to Mai, he said Kanu's release will come through divine grace and dialogue. These are vague words meant to buy time and avoid real responsibility. Which one is divine grace? It is clear that Kanu should be released. So why then are you still keeping him there? Just obey your constitution is what we are saying. Obey that thing you wrote in your constitution. That is what we are saying. Obey your constitution. Is it hard? Is it a hard task? The people don't want grace. They want justice, fairness, and constitutional obedience. Why putting efforts to go and arrest? Why, like I said, if Kano is really an innocent person, they will not go through, secretly and adopt him. They will do the right thing. It's because they know he's innocent. Look at the efforts they are putting in Kano's case, going to illegally adopt him. Do you know that the risk? Do you know what Nigerian government did? Do you know the risk they took? They actually violated their own law, violated Kenya's law. If they put this energy in insecurity in Nigeria, they will not be killings in Nigeria. I am telling you the truth. There will not be killings in Nigeria. Southeast Southeast begins to Southeast being told the truth, told to support a government that treat them as enemies. Umahi is telling the Southeast to support Tinubu come 2027. Imagine that. How can a region support government that holds their leader in illegal detention? How? You send soldiers to kill unarmed civilians during sit-at-home protest, ignores their cries while oil and gas are extradited from their land. Southeast projects highlighted by Umahi are mostly unfinished or cosmetic. The ongoing federal projects he referenced are even rehabilitations that were started during Jonathan or Buhari time and are still not completed. Token projects used to silence political criticism. Real development is not happening and infrastructure is still decades behind. Umahi is just gaslighting the Southeast on marginalization. He claims Southeast is not marginalized under Tinubu, but the fact is, key security positions are dominated by the North. Out of 40 ministers, only a few token appointments went to Southeast. If you check, you will barely see an Igbo man as the president, or you could barely see an Igbo man as a senator or minister. You barely see. Out of over 40 ministers, only a few token appointments went to the Southeast. The Southeast has no control over defense, oil customs, or CBN. Umahi is rewriting reality for political survival. That's what he's doing. Tinubu's government is benefiting from Kanu's detention. Kanu's detention is being used to weaken IPOB and neutralize Biafran ideology, keep Southeast in a state of perpetual fear and division, force political leaders into begging position instead of demanding justice. Kanu's detention is a human rights crisis. The international community has condemned it. One, Amnesty International, UN, and even AU are all watching, yet Tinubu is still silent. This is not just a Nigerian issue. It's not a Nigerian issue anymore. It has gone beyond Nigerian issue. It's now a continental disgrace. Imagine Nigeria violating the own treaties they signed. Umahi said that he's not going to run, but he'll work for his boss, Tinubu. This shows that Imagine Umahi saying, even after all what Tinubu's administration has cost, he's saying that he's not going to run or that he's going to work for his boss, Tinubu. This shows where his heart truly lies on, not with Biafrans, but not with justice, but with political ambition, loyalty to Tinubu, loyalty to truth. That is what Umahi is doing. Let us clear everyone that these people don't, they don't want good of the people.
I seated in Arusha doing nothing. If you don't tell me that, I'm going to go further. I have now the way. Why should we be paying for 11 judges when Nigeria cannot come to court? Why? Why are we paying taxes? Why are we giving donation to African Union? When Tinubu cannot come to court? When Tinubu cannot be answerable to this court? Why? When Buhari goes around to kidnap? When the European Union that is funding the Nigerian rogue system is abducting people, detaining people in Finland, in Norway, in other places? Why should we keep quiet? I have not kept quiet. Recommendations. I will formally want to notify and engage Nigeria. The AU, and I request the AU through its legal system to request the government of Nigeria to immediately surrender the declaration and Article 34(6) declaration enabling the access to the court for its citizens and the civil society and the individuals who have been traumatized, slaughtered, killed, Fulani herdsmen coming to take over their farms. We need help here. And that help must come now, not tomorrow, now, today. 2,
Please share the life.
include AU legal and
Share the life, please.
ministerial reporting to go to Nigeria to find out, ensure Nigeria's non-deposit is flagged in upcoming AU legal compliance reports, where I have not seen any report. Mr. Bankole has been hiding these reports. Time has come, Mr. Bankole have been working. I've got everything from your own people in AU. They have given me every information. And I want to thank my researchers, my friends, my comrades. Thank you very much. Continue doing the good job. Feed me with this information. I want to forward clean African Union. I want to clean this. I want to bring a better African Union that can speak for the people of Africa, not speak for the interests of the French.
Yes.
Fellow countrymen, fellow continent citizens, global citizens, those in the diaspora, it is very disheartening. The strength of enforcement of mechanisms. I want to recommend to the AU Assembly and the relevant police organs to consider compliance mechanisms or soft sanctions for state parties like Nigeria that fail to implement judicial and treaty commitments. It's sad. When we want to go and accuse people in the ICC, I'm doing this to help some people on the continent who run around, who don't know. They run everything that happens. They want to run to ICC. No. We got our independence. We don't need to run to ICC. We need to run to Arusha. We need to run to Addis Ababa. We need to run to ECOWAS. We need to run to SADC, South Africa. We can't create a parliament, and the parliament is useless. Why do we send our MPs to South Africa? I'm doing this radically to change the situation. Africa must stand. I am not bad. Call me anything, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not fighting anybody by gun. The last I handled a gun was a long time ago, when I was fighting Idi Amin and other people. I am using the brains to educate Africa that this is the route to go. The issue of public communique. The AUC, African Commission, AUC, should issue a clear communique. And I want to see it in black and white. Because if you don't do this, the next action I'm coming, we shall hear your cases. without you.
Did you get that?
And that is Nigeria, be careful.
Yeah.
I'm on you.
It's watching.
Because you are the biggest country in Africa. We don't need you in Africa to create any problem for us. We need you to help us so that other people can see you are doing something very important. It is sad, therefore, to have very serious interactions. It is sad, therefore, to have very, very serious countries like Nigeria to fail us. Nigeria is a shame to Africa.
Nigeria is a shame.
600 people die in a flood. This place, a country with resources consumed by corruption, by luxury, no medicine. The head of state flies to France because in Britain we are blocked. Flies to France to get medical treatment. Yet Panadols are missing in hospitals in Nigeria. The African court, therefore, in conclusion of human and people's rights, I want to say and state here categorically that the African Court on Human and the People's Right was not created as a symbolic institution, but a living judicial mechanism with 11 judges to serve Africans. Therefore, I conclude by saying if citizens of Nigeria, the largest democracy on the continent, cannot access this court, cannot access justice, then the integrity of African Union human rights systems is at risk. We can't say we created the African Union for this type of mess. This is a critical moment for the African Union Commission to act with clarity, courage, and consistency. I remain available for further dialogue and legal engagement on this matter. I give only 4 days for reply.
4 days.
Failure, I'll move because I've already got what to do, where to do it, how to do it. I'll move across to stage the last staging point. I remain the chairman, founder of Pan-African Forum Limited and Associates. You can reach me on africastrategy@hotmail.com if you have anything to write. This statement issued in Arusha, Tanzania on 1st of July 2025. The year of our Lord. Thank you. God bless you. And I want to be very candid that these countries have got a habit of conniving with states like Finland, Norway, in Africa, who come and preach human rights in their countries, but they come to Africa, ignore the human rights that are being abused in the African continent. Finland is dealing with Nigeria to obtain gas, to obtain oil contracts, construction of roads, infrastructure, but it is not bothering to tell the world under the European law, which again, Article 41 of the European Convention and the Universal Suffrage law that touches human rights, the right of explaining to a court that there is a conflict that is killing people. They have not done it. I want to thank you and thank all of you who have stood by me. I will pro bono on a voluntary basis struggle on. Those who want to help me, help me. My contributions are very clear. Every contribution of yours will be accounted for. My PayPal is very available. My journey I am on, I will put it here so that you can help if possible. If you can't help still, I'll go on until I come to a conclusion to make sure that there is accountability and restore accountability, safeguard the interest of the people. If the people want a referendum, therefore, give them the referendum, the right to exist or coexist while you block them. That's what I've done, and I will continue to fight for those rights. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, I saw somebody wrote something. Let me check. Okay, T. McDonald. You said, I expect the international community to place sanctions to Nigeria and government. Yes, now they have placed sanctions on Nigeria now, but Nigeria is a very corrupt, like a very corrupt and stubborn country. Imagine they were sued in African court, but they refused to go there and answer to the court. That's why this man have given them 4 days ultimatum to reply, else he will move to the final stage. So please just share this live.
Because so far, no strong evidence has been adduced by the prosecution against Nnamdi Kanu. Look at it.
So, guys, you have seen that everybody's now talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Everybody's talking about his release. Imagine Tinubu cannot even come to court. So, what's the need of paying taxes in African Union? That's what that lawyer was saying. What's the need when Tinubu cannot come to court and point out that this man is a terrorist? For how many years now? This one has been in custody. Kanu has been in custody, but they cannot even prove he's a terrorist. No weapon has been found with him, or no weapon has been brought to say that this is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's weapon. No civilian, no soldier can come out to say, or has come out to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu actually killed his loved one or his parents or his dad. No, nothing like that. That's to tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. So what's the essence of negotiating? What's the essence of negotiating? What's the essence? Just do what is in your law. Do what he says there. They said release him. They have ruled that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. All courts is saying it. Appeal court has acquitted him. International court has said this man is innocent. What you guys did violated your law, violated Kenya's law. You violated international laws. Even the very treaties that the Nigerian government signs also violated those treaties. So what are they now doing? What is negotiating? What they should do now is to, there's no room for negotiating. Release him. That's all we want. Release that man. He has not done anything. He's innocent of all the allegations against him. He's innocent. He's innocent. That is what they are saying. Everyone is speaking. Why is this Igbo has not gone to court to prove that he's a terrorist? Kanu is not bargaining chip. Tinubu is. It's not the Southeast that should prove itself. It's Tinubu who should prove he believes in justice, democracy, and rule of law. Keeping Kanu locked up while praising dialogue should doubt speak or shows double speak and double speak. Every day Kanu stays in detention, it weakens Nigerians' credibility. Nigeria keeps preaching rule of law globally, but at home, it's detaining a man without trial against international rulings. The world is watching, and Tinubu is silent. Tinubu's silence is making him complicit in the illegal detention. That's just it. Umahi said Tinubu did not keep Kanu there. But why is he silent? Your administration actually inherited. Your administration inherited an illegal detention of a man, and you have chosen to keep it or to continue it. The silence of Tinubu has never spoke for once about Kanu's illegal detention. His silence is making him complicit in the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Umahi said Tinubu didn't put him there, but Tinubu is keeping him there. Can you imagine? The Buhari administration kidnapped and detained him, yes. But Tinubu has continued the illegality, which means he has now inherited the guilt. Silence is not innocence. Hope they know that. Silence is not innocence. If they can silence Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they can silence any activist. Yoruba Nation, Middle Belt Group, Niger Delta agitators. His case is now a litmus test for how Nigeria handles dissent. The final truth is that Umahi's statement is a cover for fear. The fear that Kanu will return stronger. That's just it. The voice will reignite the movement. that his voice is going to reignite the movement, and that the truth he speaks will disrupt their plan for 2027 and beyond. That is what they are fearing. Umahi's speech is just, because of his scared. He fears Kanu's return is going to be stronger, or Kanu will return stronger, or his voice is going to reignite his movement, and that the truth he speaks is going to disrupt their plans for 2027 and beyond. That's just it. That's why you see political hostage situation disguised as legal process. That's just it. Kanu's case is no longer about justice. It's a political hostage situation. And Umahi talks of negotiation. Proves it. You don't negotiate justice, you enforce it. You don't negotiate justice, you enforce it. What's his name? Umahi said we are open to dialogue. It means nothing without action. The Nigerian government has been saying it, open to dialogue, since 2015. Dialogue without implementation is deception. Tinubu's government is benefiting from the fear of Kanu. His continued detention silence activists or activism, weaks IPOB and prevents organized IPOB resistance. Umahi is protecting his position, not his people. He's now part of the federal establishment and must defend it. He cannot represent Kanu or Biafra while dining with those who oppress them. There is no national security threat with Kanu's free. Kanu's release does not bring war, it brings stability. The longer he is held, the more unrest and radicalized will grow in the south, even in Nigeria as a whole. Tinubu is continuing Buhari's oppressive legacies. While pretending to be different, Tinubu is maintaining the exact same tactics of suppression, intimidation, and selective justice. Take a look at what this lawyer said.
The prosecution, or one of the prosecution witnesses, I think Mr. BBB or so, all the things they asked him was saying no. At a point, the the judge or Justice Omoto got angry and was reprimanding them that if they don't have any matter to, they should stop coming and all that. It happened. So there was nothing concrete. I was thinking they are going to present a cache of arms stockpiled by Nnamdi Kanu somewhere. Because how can you be a terrorist without gun, Mr. Okoro? Mention anywhere in the world where you see terrorists without a single, not even cutlass with them.
You are a lawyer. What about inciting people? Because they also said it was inciting people.
What are you talking about? Inciting in what way? Hold on.
They recovered radio Biafra equipment from him.
Hold on, please. That is not the one of the hallmark of a terrorist. Politicians do incite people. True of us. Politicians. Were you not here when somebody told you that God told him that they should kill Tinubu's wife, Oluremi, that she's an infidel? Did it not happen in this country? That man was not even arrested, not to talk of questioning. What does that tell you? That one is even worse. The man who said it, Sheikh Tenshi. So when you are talking of incitement, I don't know what people are talking about. That is not the hallmark. That's not the prescription of a terrorist. Terrorists mean you are heavily armed, killing people, taking up territories, destroying villages and all that.
The terrorists also attack soft targets deliberately.
Is that what?
They deliberately attack soft targets.
They don't look, as long as they're terrorists.
Because it's affection between the government and the people.
Listen very well. A terrorist is a terrorist. And there are prescriptions. That's why no nation in the whole world has seen Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist or IPOB as a terrorist group. Because they know how to describe a terrorist or terrorist organization. They know. This thing that Killer Fulani herdsmen are doing is a perfect description of terrorism. Perfect description. But the federal government of Nigeria don't want to see that. They are still calling it a farmer header class. Do they need all the forests, all the land in the whole of Nigeria to do their business? If it is farmer header clash, no, tell me. You mean they don't have a place? You know, you had when Niger State to call them, come. If you are looking for land, we have more than enough. Kano State to call them, come, we have more than enough. Did they listen? They said no. So if it is land they are looking for, the states have promised them, come and take as much as you like a Niger State. Niger State has the size of the whole of Southwest.
Okay.
So why couldn't they go there if they are looking for land? If they are looking for land. I'm talking of a land that is twice the size of Lagos State. You can get it in Niger State, and yet there's vast area still left. 76,000.
Barrister, we are left with just 1 minute. Now, on the 18th of July, the prosecution and the defense will make their final addresses. What do you expect?
I cannot speak to them. The fact is that they have closed their case, Abi. Yes, the procedure and processes are going on fine.
Okay.
But from the look of things.
So guys, you can see that truly Nigerian government don't have anything against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They don't have. They're just delaying his release for no reason. They called him a terrorist. You can't even show of one. You cannot even show one weapon of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What is a terrorist? A terrorist, or who is a terrorist? A terrorist is fully armed. A terrorist is fully armed with guns. What these foreign people are doing is a true definition of terrorism in Nigeria, but they will not go after them, they will go after innocent Nigerians. So guys, we have come to the end of this live session. Do want to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video. Thank you for watching.